When Max said he'd win the race by a million years if he was in a McLaren.
I would answer, yeah, okay then, but you haven't got that car, so, I would have won every race in the car you had the last 3 years.
I think Raymond Vermeulen, his manager, was trying to get on the same level with Marco. I don't think that they were having a fight or something. They were just equalizing their anger.
Guenther, okay, who is your wanker for Bahrain?
I would say the FIA, with all the mess they made, with the track limits. Because that is the biggest bullshit ever, and they keep on getting it wrong, and Aston Martin keeps on... Hello, Vankahs!
What's up, Vankahs?
Greetings, Vankahs! Of course, this is Vankah Hours with Guenther Steiner, brought to you by BetMGM, coming at you every Wednesday following races. Bahrain in the books, Oscar Piastri, domination, chaos, all behind him. Guenther, things are looking good for your boy Oscar.
Yeah, they're looking very good. I told you he's going to win. I always have to go back. When I get something almost right, I need to remind you. I said it's the two McLaren, Oscar first, Lando second, and George third. I mixed a little bit up. George was second, Lando third. But, hey, what can you do? He almost good, so... But no,
you're feeling pretty good about yourself.
I feel more than pretty. I feel very good about myself today,
That's right. He's got to get that dirt off his shoulders. But before we get into all that, we got to run the music. Kick it.
No, fuck smash, my dog. I'm done the fucking Steiner and I'm back for more. No, fuck smash, my dog. I'm done the fucking Steiner and it's time for...
And we're back. Okay. Guenther, let's start with McLaren. Let's start with Oscar Piastri. You've said that he's your horse this year. What did you see from your boy Oscar?
Almost a perfect weekend. I think without almost, what more can he do? He delivered, he kept a cool head, just brought it home, did what he had to do. So, it's actually, it was so good that it's boring to speak about, Like, you're right, and what are you speaking about? Perfect qualifying.
He got the Max Verstappen treatment. They showed him in the little box going over the line. They didn't even show him. It was that boring from him.
Yeah, but it's a good race for him, He I think he loved the boring side of it, It's like Max loves it when he's boring. Obviously we don't like that, but I think we had a lot of other things to look at, compared with Japan. I think it was up from Japan because everything behind him was, I wouldn't say a mess, was messy, was exciting, was unexpected, was whatever you can say, Lando making the mistake at the start of the race, getting 5 seconds, he didn't help himself, I would say, in the championship fight because he shouldn't making these mistakes, moving.
Right. What do you put to that? Do you think it's just a lapse in judgment? Do you think the pressure is getting to him? There's a lot of talk about the mentality of these two guys. They're very opposite in lots of ways. Oscar, calm, cool, collected. Lando, chaotic, very emotional, kind of self-effacing. Oscar Piastri's always saying, I'm going to win the championship. Lando Norris is saying, everyone else is better than me. What do you make of Lando's performance with regards to that?
I would say Lando is taking it cool. I don't see him nervous or a lack of confidence. He just makes mistakes. It's like, which is not good, by the way. We know that one is not good, but it's not like, I don't see a lack of confidence. He just keeps on making little mistakes and saying, yeah, maybe I don't win the championship. As you say, I always said, if you want to win something, you need to believe. The first one to believe in it, you need to be yourself. If you don't believe that you can win it, how should you win it? You need to get lucky. So, but it was the same with McLaren last year. I don't know if he can win. Maybe it's a little bit of a McLaren thing, and it colored over to him that he says, I don't want to be arrogant. I don't find it arrogant if you've got a good car, if you're a good driver, are going to win the championship. All right, it's not being arrogant, that one, huh?
Right, but when Max said he'd win the race by a million years if he was in a McLaren, and Lando goes, well, it's actually pretty hard to drive. I'd invite him to drive my car any day. And then after qualifying, it's like he says, it's like I don't know how to drive a Formula One car. I feel clueless out there. He's saying all these, and at some point, Guenther, at what point would you step in and say, no more of this shit? Stop talking like that. This is not helpful to you. It's giving the press red meat, giving people like you and me red meat to discuss. What point do you just shut it down?
Yeah, at some stage, I would shut it down and say, hey, I think you're a good driver. You won races. You can win the championship. You just need to believe it. And you need to tell him that, as you say, you answer back to Max Verstappen. Max obviously takes this to have a go at you. I would win every race with this car. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. I would answer, yeah, okay then. But you haven't got that car, so... I would have won every race in the car you had the last 3 years. So it's like, but it's not his character. And I think we cannot critique Lando for his character. What he has got is just like, it's a little bit, as we're discussing, he needs to believe in himself, in his team. But it's also not good for the team. If your driver says, I don't know if I'm going to win. I mean, if anybody working on that car is like, if he doesn't believe it, why should I believe it, It's like he needs to go out there and say, hey, I'm going to win. Obviously not being arrogant, but it's not being arrogant if you're in a car as good as McLaren and if you're as a good driver as Lando Norris, because he's good. He needs to believe himself,
Also, there's a degree that people wouldn't be talking about his character or his attitude if he wasn't making mistakes. I mean,
absolutely,
he could be charming and say, if he's winning and he says, well, I'm actually not that good. It's like, actually, then it's charming, but it's when we can connect the dots between a mistake on track that feels maybe fueled by pressure, that is fueled maybe by a lack of self-belief, and then combined with what he says off the track. That's the thing that's lining up right now that people are kind of latching onto.
Now, I'm wondering, Guenther, do you think, because I know I've read about this a lot on teams where, teams will coalesce around a certain driver based on their better drivers. But do you think it's possible that, if the drivers are equal or close to equal in ability, but one has just got this belief in himself,
mental edge, mental edge,
If one of them has a mental edge, do you think that the garage could start to shift around Oscar just because you said it's kind of depressing to be around a guy that's like, I don't know, he's like Hamlet, to be or not to be, and the other guy's just full steam ahead all the time.
Yeah, you will get that shift, and I don't know how they behave with their guys, with the team, but normally, obviously, people want to associate themselves with the best which is around. That is normal in a team. So obviously, and that was one of the reasons, why I think Oscar Piastri will win the World Championship, because it's not a lack of talent with Lando. It's this lack of, this consistency in always making little mistakes, not having the confidence to do it right, and always having, almost always apologizing for everything. Sometimes you just say, hey, you think what you think, I go and win a championship. Like with the comment, I go back to the comment with Max. You don't have to go back to him and explain, it is not this easy. Just F off, basically, and, tell him what you think really. If I had your car, I would be 5 times world champion. Yeah.
Okay, wait, I am curious, since Max brought it up, how do you think Max Verstappen would do in the McLaren? I mean, let's say McLaren has 3 cars in this fantasy land. Where is Max with regards to Lando and Oscar? What do you think?
I mean, he would be in a good place. I mean, but that would make it very interesting. That's a very nice theory to think about,
That's right.
So, yeah, it's a... But, I mean, it wouldn't be a walk through the park for him, because these 2 guys are good. And maybe it would help a guy like Lando to roll his sleeves up, because he get always challenged by Max, and I'm going to tell this guy now where I stand, with this. So, but it would be an interesting fight. But for sure, Max would be in a good position to be number 1 of the 3, because he's very good, I mean, you've got, I would say, I think Max in the moment is the best driver, not only talent-wise, also mentally strong. But these things shift around. Can he keep it? Because if he got into McLaren in the same car, the other guys know the car, they know the team. For Max, everything is new. Maybe he would struggle a little bit. You never know how it goes. But it's an interesting theory. Thanks God, it's a theory.
Well, it'd be awesome if it was real life.
I think people would pay a lot of money to see the three McLarens.
And we need to speak with Zach to put a third McLaren on the grid, just as a test, Yeah.
Well, if George Russell keeps chatting with Zach Brown, they seem to be canoodling recently. George Russell's kind of maybe looking for his exit, and maybe he sees McLaren as an option there. Any credence between those photographs? You making anything of those photographs of George Russell getting lunch with Zach and Andrea?
No, I think that George would love to have a McLaren, but I don't know if Andrea and Zach in the moment need George because they have got two good drivers. It's like, and them two drivers, they both have a contract. I mean, Oscar just was re-signed this year. I don't know when
through to 28, I believe, and Lando's through to 27. So
that's
the next few years are locked up for them. That is true.
We are fine, George, keep on eating lunch with them,
But let me ask you a question. If Oscar wins the title this year, how tenable is it for Lando to stay?
How tenable is I think he will stay, but why would he go away? I mean, in 26, everything is new anyway. Nobody knows what is happening in 26. In 26, what a team wants is stability, and what a driver wants is stability, or the best car. But they don't know. They don't know as much as the team knows, so or doesn't know how good it is. But for 26, if you can have stability with the drivers, that is the best what you can have, because you have got already the unknown, a complete new car.
Well, let's talk about stability because, there seems to be a lack of stability for most of these teams other than McLaren at the moment, even though there's some chaos happening behind the scenes. At least their car is right on point. Red Bull. Last week, Max wins in Japan. This week, they're kind of nowhere. Yuki Tsunoda's right with him. They're barely scoring points. He barely gets past Pierre Gasly at the end of the race to get 6th place. Apparently, Max's manager, furious after the race, storming into the Red Bull headquarters, chewing everyone's ear off. What do you make of this Red Bull performance from Bahrain?
I mean, you said it all after the victory in Japan. I mean, within a week, going from being heroes to zeros. I mean, everything what went wrong for Red Bull in Bahrain went. They achieved it, There was no pace there in the car. They messed the pit stops up, which is very unusual for Red Bull. I mean, messing one up can happen, but they messed a few up, So it's very unusual, And I'm sure Jonathan Wheatley was watching, He's Mr. Pit Stop, So, but it's like, and. I can imagine that Raymond Vermeulen, the manager, wasn't happy with it. But I don't think Raymond need to tell Dr. Marco or Christian that he's not happy. They are not happy. I mean, How can they be happy? So it sometimes is when this is written, it's like, Raymond Vermeulen chewed the ear off of the management. No shit. I mean, what is he going to say? I think Christian and Dr. Marco came to the same conclusion, but if they would have known something different, they would have done it. I mean, it's like in any sport. Sometimes you are there and sometimes you're not there. I mean, after Japan, people were talking, Max will be world champion again this year. That has changed a week after, It's like, he's leaving the team. So I think we have to put a little bit of a damper on all this hype and things. But obviously, a guy like Max creates these waves. I mean, that is Max, So he's very outspoken about things. So, but their performance wasn't good. I mean, I'm not trying to say that their performance is good, but it was pretty, and very strange how they got this low so quick. But,
How attributable is the exodus to what we're seeing now?
The exodus of Adrian.
Wheatley, a lot of people that have left.
Callum, Nicholas, one of their head mechanics is gone. I mean, people have kind of like left the ship.
Yeah, and that started last year with Adrian leaving, because as I always say, to attract the best people is like if you bring somebody in which people want to work with, and it's the same when when a very good guy goes, people say, "Oh, why should I stay here? I get another opportunity." But it's it's cyclical in any sport, and especially in F1, that you've got a few good years and then you have bad ones. But for sure, all these exits, coming to your question, don't help. I mean, if I would say, it doesn't make any difference, yeah, again, we have seen that one, it makes no difference, I mean, the car is not where it should be. The pit stops are not where they should be. Is it all down to this guy's exiting? Maybe not. But does it help that they exited? No, it was one of the reasons, maybe. But, it's just like, and we all know when it goes downhill, it goes downhill fast sometimes.
Yeah, I'm curious about this pit stop situation that happened with Red Bull, because there was the situation with the lights. The lights seemed to be broken. Ted Kravitz said, "Bring back the man with the lollipop." But is that a system error, or was that after the first time? Should Red Bull have really fixed it, because it happened again with Tsunoda?
Yeah,
what do you make of that?
A glitch somewhere. Obviously, for sure they tried to fix it, but didn't fix it, because the second time it went yellow. The first time it stayed red. The second time it went from red to yellow, blinking. So obviously they had a gremlin in there. But it's...
I can't fire a gremlin. Whose fault was it, Guenther?
Yeah, so how should we do with you? Because every time we go on this show, your internet connection is something wrong with, So it's about the same thing, So
it's the gremlins.
It's the gremlins they're around.
I blame the equipment. I blame the equipment. I need better engineers need to give me equipment.
I'm sure.
I'm the driver, Guenther.
I'm sure it's a lot of blame on the equipment, on the software, which didn't do that. And in the end, you say, I don't know. I mean, just guys fix it, because somebody will know what went wrong. But, it's never good. But, these things, they work maybe 1,000 times, and then it's the same, nothing else with the equipment we have got. Sometimes it doesn't work, and it's like, why did it happen? I don't know.
Well, it brings up questions around Red Bull's future, obviously, going into next year with the new engines. What people think is that they're going to be a few steps behind, because this is the first time being a manufacturer. It brings up Max's future. We've talked in the past that you think he'll wait, see where the chips fall, and then make his decision. But do we have Jack, Jenny? Vankahs, this episode is brought to you by BetMGM. Come see what's new at BetMGM. Score bigger when you win with boost tokens, odd boost tokens, and more. Even if your bet doesn't hit, we've got you covered with no sweat tokens. Sign up with BetMGM today and you'll have access to countless betting options, including new look, same game parlays, teasers, live bets, and so much more. Take advantage of these offerings and be sure to use the bonus code DADDY when signing up to receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. This is an exciting season. Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, who's going to finish? Who's going to win each race? Where's Yuki Tsunoda going to wind up? You can bet on all this with BetMGM, so do it today. Use the bonus code DADDY when signing up, and again, receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. See you out there, Vegas.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 for New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 21 and over only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Who can we get to find out what is Max gonna do all about the Dutch side? I said, I know the perfect guy, the dentist. The dentist, yeah.
And they said, the dentist? What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Wait, Jack, prove your dental credentials.
Association,
here. Prove
association.
To everyone.
Yeah. Is that enough? Is that enough?
That's enough. So wait, Jack. We've Guenther's obviously known you for a long time. We've recently discovered you. Can you kind of like tell the people who don't know kind of what your existence is within this Formula One space?
Who are you?
Who are you? I'm a dentist, and I did for a pit lane report for about 25 years for Dutch TV.
Okay.
And I saw all these guys grow up. I started working with Jos Verstappen, Max's dad, and now I worked with Max. And now a streaming service got the rights for Formula One, and they don't want to work with old people, so they took young guys instead of me.
I see.
Ageist
But that
fucks.
doesn't mean you don't have the knowledge and the insights into what's going
I still
on.
I still have.
Okay,
I
so
have
Jack,
friends, and I
Jack, what
visit
can
all
you,
these tracks, but I'm not doing TV reporting. But we're doing live radio from Holland, so I follow all the ins and outs, and I speak everybody. So
Wait,
what
before
do
you
wanna
start,
know?
before you start, were you Max's dentist?
I'm not allowed to say in privacy rules. I'm not allowed to say.
because we know that kid likes to eat. We know that he's
Yes.
maybe had a cavity or two in his day.
And all
Yeah.
this Red Bull drinks.
Yeah.
They destroy
Yes.
your teeth, etc. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we were discussing before you hopped on. We were discussing the situation at Red Bull that Max's manager was very, mad after this last race. That Max obviously won in Japan, but the Red Bull car is not where it should be for a driver of Max's caliber. Where there's a big discussion about 2026 and beyond, whether Max stays at Red Bull, whether he leaves. What can you tell us about the Verstappen camp?
Yeah, there was a big discussion after the race when he was having a discussion, or his manager was having a discussion with Helmut Marko. But I don't think it was a discussion.
What was
I
it then?
think
What
it
was it
was
then, Jack?
I think Raymond Vermeulen, his manager, was trying to get on the same level with Marko because he and Marko are big friends. Marko gave the big deal to Max Verstappen. So I think it's not a quarrel between them. It's just equalizing all the energy which has to go to the team boss. Team boss is the guy who should be blaming on, not Helmut Marko. I don't think that they were having a fight or something. They were just equalizing their anger. Oh, this should be real. Did you see the pit stop? What happened? Yeah, that was big shit. Yeah, that was big shit. And they fucked up. Yeah, they fucked up. Shall we go to Christian Horner? No, you go to Christian Horner. I'm not going to Christian Horner. You should go to Christian Horner. You should fire him. That's the discussion. I think what happened.
I see. Well, there's obviously, we understand that there is, the different camps at the Red Bull organization, that there's there's sides to this thing, and Marko and Jos seem to be on one side, Christian's on another side. They seem to have worked it out, but now that the car is not doing well. So, I mean, what do you think? There's only so much that Christian can do at this point, right? I mean, the car is what the car is.
Can he change that over one day, over one night? Guenther Steiner knows how it works, but it's impossible. It's impossible. You cannot change that over one night.
So then we come to the question: is Max staying or not? Jack, what you think, or what you know,
Yeah,
not what you think, because we discussed before. What we are thinking doesn't mean anything. What do you know?
That's right.
He's very loyal. He's very loyal. He have all these world championships on behalf of Red Bull, and he says very, very much thank you to Helmut Marko. So he's very loyal. But if the car is not delivering, and it looks like the car isn't, and it continues not delivering, then he has a clause in his contract that he can leave. So will he do that? Of course, he's looking at what are the opportunities, what are the chances. Is there the big $1 million check from Aston Martin, or is that still the good connection with Toto Wolff? That's a big thing. That's a big question.
Right. Yeah.
You think it could be as early as 2026?
Yeah, I think he will wait. I think he will serve his year. It depends on what happens. If there is an upgrade coming in Italy or not, can they fight back? And I know him; he loves to fight back. That's what he likes. So if they give him all the information, because the big thing, what's happening now at Red Bull is that Adrian Newey has left. There is a French guy called we call him Haché, but it's Waché, Pierre Waché, and he is a typical Frenchman. So his head is exploding because he's not going to solve the problem. Adrian Newey could solve the problem. It was looking from this side, that side, and he is a genius. Agree, Guenther?
Yeah, no, he's a genius. I don't know how they got into this position in the moment, how they got this down. I said it before when we talked. I mean, we cannot jump to a conclusion because in Japan everything was perfect. I mean, he won the race. You know, he did a
It looked perfect, but it wasn't.
fantastic lap. I mean, you do them in your life. Yeah, his lap was perfect. It wasn't perfect. The result was perfect. You know, so I think we have to wait what is happening with the next results. But
Yeah.
I think the soup is never eaten as hot as it is cooked. You know, so I think Max and his management and Raymond and Jost, I think obviously they're not happy with it, but they're not jumping now and saying everything is wrong. You know, as you said before, they had a lot of championships with Red Bull. They gave him the opportunity to go to F1. I mean, it's not like because I have now half a year of bad races, I'm leaving, you know, obviously, but they need to show him the way how they're going to sort it. And
They're going to put pressure on it. They're going to put
absolutely,
loads of pressure on it. Yeah.
Because otherwise it's not getting sorted, and then we will see what the team can come up with, I would say.
Well, it also seems like, you know, there's obviously this year, that's one thing, but the real long-term question is how are they going to fare in this new set of regulations as a first-time engine manufacturer? What is the sentiment? What's the feeling? What are the predictions about how this Red Bull Ford power unit is gonna how it's gonna be?
The last info I had from Helmut Marko is that they're lacking 5 horsepower. What was it? 10 horsepower instead of the others. That's what Helmut Marko said.
Okay.
So he's still behind the others. So if that's true, if it's hide and seek, are they cheating a little bit with this information? We don't know yet. I didn't see the prints, so I don't know.
Well, it
But
seemed like
of course,
Aston
Aston Martin is in the market because they have Adrian Newey, they have money, and Lawrence Stroll has a plan.
And Honda.
Yeah.
Where is it this year though? I mean, they're even worse than Red Bull.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah. They just spend money on a lot of other things, and I think they're already through their budget.
Right. I see.
Yeah, well, I think all their eyes are on 2026 over at the Aston Martin camp, certainly.
Yeah.
But then I guess so. Then there's also been there's kind of chaos around the team. You know, there's one thing if the car is not doing well, but then there's all the off-track mishigas. There was obviously everything that was crazy last year with the behind-the-scenes stuff. With all of the Christian Horner controversy, Max having to answer questions about Checo Perez, and now this year, 2 races in, they get rid of Liam Lawson. He likes that that guy's Instagram post talking about how Red Bull didn't treat Liam appropriately.
Yep.
He didn't deny it. He said, I liked it for a reason. But now they brought Yuki Tsunoda in, and he seems to have, a step in the right direction. I mean, what do you think Max is feeling about all of that kind of behind-the-scenes controversy with regards to his experience at the Red Bull team?
I think he's dealing with it. He's dealing. 2-3 years ago, he would have been stamping on the floor, shouting out, and fucks here and fucks there. But he grew up. Or what do you say? He grew up? Yeah.
He grew up.
And he grew up. And I think he's very clever now. He doesn't say too much. He says a few hints, like you just said, with Liam Lawson, I would do that differently. And even when he came out of the car last race, he was very decent and quiet. I think he wants to get his little child be born first in these few weeks. That's more important than fighting about things you can't change. Because they already knew. Last year, they already knew there were big problems coming. Jos, his father, already said, this is only the start of what's coming. So they knew it, that this was coming.
But
what can you do?
There's a lack of accountability. Like firing Liam Lawson in Max's mind is maybe sort of a lack of accountability. Like it's not really his. The rot is above Liam. It's bigger, and that's
it's
just
bigger.
That he's a patsy for.
Yep.
And when. When are bigger changes going to be made? Sort of.
I've heard from Italy off only. This is the chance. So they're still fucked. You can't change it, Max. Believe me, he is going to do 150% every free practice, every race, every quali to get that maximum out of the car. That's his attitude for about 20 years racing. He does that every day. So it's not on him. They should deliver him a car and then he can do it.
I guess where Jack's loyalty is, huh? You know that one, huh?
No, he's a journalist. He has to be objective.
No,
definitely
no.
no, definitely not.
He said,
I don't have to be objective,
bro. He's a
Yeah.
dentist, bro. Come on.
Most important thing is, I believe
he's part
what
of
I
the
see-
family.
No, I'm not part of the family. Absolutely not.
Dutch. So are we experiencing Dutch bias right now?
No, you're not.
No.
I said last time that Max was going to Mercedes. That's what I've heard. That's what I listened to people in the paddock. And then there was a big reaction from Jos Verstappen on Instagram, and he only said, Jack, what a bullshit. That was his response. So I'm not in his camp. I'm not a Verstappen. I'm just a fan of motorsports, and luckily we have this guy from Holland who is bloody good. But I don't
you know
know
him very well.
You
And
know them very
Right,
well. Okay, maybe you guys, right now, there's a separation. But do you have like a favorite Max Jos story from your years being around them?
Yeah, that was when he was driving on his go-karts in the rain. I was a parent with my son was go-karting, but he was not that talented as Max. And I was standing there with all these fathers, Father Hamilton's, Father Gasly, Father Ocon, all these fathers were standing there watching their child go-karting, and I was one of them. And we went into the cafeteria to drink coffee because it was bloody raining. Cats and dogs and there was only one guy in his go-kart on the track with his father standing next to him with his stopwatch. That was Jos and Max Verstappen.
Wow.
Rain. And he said to his son, come on, Max, bite through it. And if you have cold hands, put them on the exhaust and go and go and go. That's the difference.
And did you
So
know
why
then?
you did not say that to your son?
That's right. That's right.
There is a bad connection at this moment. What do you say? Do I hear something from Mr.
Yeah.
My son was not that talented.
I think that's lack of commitment. No. I
Lack
think
of
the
talent
father
or
was not committed.
or lack of leadership.
Yeah, from the father. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, whoa. We learned something here. Yeah. You're a bad father, yeah.
Yeah, that's what that means. Well,
Yeah.
Jack, we thank you for your time.
All right. Well,
Wait, I got one question.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
Matt, come on, Matt.
Best teeth on the grid, worst teeth on the grid. Let's hear it.
The best teeth on the grid. I think that's George Russell.
And you won't take credit for it. I'm not thanking you. I'm thanking some dentists, but Max has very nice teeth.
Yeah, he has very nice. I didn't do it, but I'm not allowed to say it officially.
Okay.
But he has got a good dentist. Jack. Yeah.
A better dentist.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. Well, Jack, thank you so much for your time.
guys.
I'll let you get back to your patients.
Thank you very much.
And,
To my
great.
patients, yeah.
That's right. Vankahs, this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Therapy is so important. The world is crazy. It's hard to make sense of. Life is difficult, and you need a place where you can talk about what's going on with you specifically and how you're navigating it. And that's why I and everyone here at Vankah Hours is a huge pro therapy vibe. And if you need therapy, there's no better place to go to than BetterHelp. Let's talk numbers. Traditional in-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session, which adds up fast. But with BetterHelp online therapy, you can save an average of up to 50% per session. With BetterHelp, you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions, saving you big on cost and on time. Therapy should feel accessible, not like a luxury. With online therapy, you get quality care at a price that makes sense and can help you with anything from anxiety to everyday stress. Your mental health is worth it. Now it's within reach. Therapy has been a huge helper in my life. In times where I've been confused, it's so important to have that space away from your life, away from the people around you who have a vested interest in your behavior. When you talk to a therapist, you get to really clarify your thoughts, and BetterHelp is the perfect place to do it. Your well-being is worth it. Visit BetterHelp.com/VH to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/VH. See you in therapy, Vankas. All right, guys, we're here to talk about our favorite sponsor, Dollar Shave Club. It's no surprise that facial hair is personal. It grows on your face. We all grow it, shave it, style it differently, and we think that's pretty fucking great. It all makes us more interesting. That's why in this club, we make the razors and you make the rules, baby. That's right. I'm not going to lie. I thought the Dollar Shave Club just made razors, but they do so much more than that. Whether you're going smooth shaven or maintaining a beard, Dollar Shave Club offers shave and grooming products that are always high quality and never, ever overpriced. Let me introduce you to some of their top sellers that we're going to make your grooming routine feel like a spa. First up, we got the Dollar Shave Club Series 6 Blade Razor. This isn't just any razor, okay? It's like a mini vacation for your face. With 6 stainless steel blades and vitamin E-infused lubricant strip, the razor delivers the closest, most comfortable shave imaginable. It's so comfy, your skin might want to just take a nap afterwards. Plus, the precision trimmer is perfect for those little detail areas because we know how important those are. Also, they have an amazing series of products that prep your skin for your shave and take care of it after. We got the shave butter. It's the top-selling shaving aid. It's true. I use it, and it's so much more helpful than when you put all the white, puffy gunk on your face, because you're like, am I even getting this stuff? This goes on clear, so you can see exactly where you're shaving. But don't take our word for it, Vankas. Try it for yourself at Dollar Shave Club. Products are now available everywhere, so you can order them from their website, Amazon, or get them at your favorite retailer near you. Alternatively, you can visit their site right now for 20% off $20 or more. Get your products delivered right to your door. Visit dollarshaveclub.com/red flags and use the promo code red flags to get 20% off $20 or more. And remember, whenever you shave, welcome to the club. All right, we heard from Jack Plooij. We've covered the Red Bull Racing organization. I think it's time that we head into our favorite segment, Gas or Break. Let us get our first prompt.
George Russell has been overlooked in his F1 career.
Break. He's having a good career, huh? I mean, he hasn't been overlooked. I mean, he was at Williams a few years. Now he's at Mercedes, which in the moment is the second best team. So, I mean, not everybody can be always in the best team. I think he hasn't been overlooked. I think he's in a good place. Yeah.
I'm going full gas. Toto Wolff threw him at Williams, forgot about him for a few years. They let Valtteri Bottas have all those good seasons. George Russell was stuck in Williams, beating up on bums, qualifying well. And then when he finally got into the good team, the car sucked. He was in Lewis's shadow, this, that, and the other thing. And then finally, he's doing well against Lewis. Lewis leaves. Now they bring in Kimi Antonelli. Now, anytime Kimi Antonelli does anything, that's all anybody ever talks about. George Russell's been finishing so well, but all I ever hear is Kimi this, Kimi that, youngest guy to lead a lap, to lead a race for 3 seconds. It's crazy how little recognition this guy is getting. Full gas through the wall, down, slamming the gas through the floor of the car, going Fred Flintstone.
Calm down. Yeah, calm down. We didn't say, we said overlooked. We didn't say, who cares? I mean, he goes on the podium. I mean, talking about Kimi Antonelli this, Kimi Antonelli that, he hasn't got a podium yet. So I don't think he was overlooked. He was on the podium, It's like, yeah, it's fine. He's in a good team.
Toto Wolff courting Max Verstappen. It's like, who do you think he's replacing? Not Kimi.
Who knows?
I'm going full gas as well. I think that George Russell is on the podium through his own skill. I think the paddock overlooks George Russell's talent. I think that Toto Wolff takes for granted how good of a driver George Russell is. He was so concerned with Lewis. Now he seems preoccupied with Kimi Antonelli and Max Verstappen. I think that George Russell is good enough to be the belle of the ball, and right now it feels like he's the bridesmaid, never the bride.
He is as good. What did you call it? The bell of what? I don't
the bell of the ball.
The bell of the ball, Guenther.
They have
the
tons
bell
of
the
these
ball.
in North Carolina.
Yeah, I've got he will be the bell of the ball, but he was not overlooked because he has got a good seat and everything is good. maybe there is not so much propaganda for him. I'm the guy which always says, yeah, Mercedes finished on the podium again, and nobody knows about it because nobody talks about it, But that's not overlooked because he's in a good position. He's overlooked by the press, maybe, but who cares?
Right.
We said overlooked.
And Toto and his employer.
No,
I don't
how
think
you
it's
know
just
that?
overlooked. I think it's not just the press. I think that what it seems like is that, I mean, listen, George was kind of at Williams for a few years when he was maybe ready for that drive. We saw in 2020 when he took over for Lewis's car that he was ready.
Yeah, but there was no
seat.
seat. There was no seat. So that he
And then all
got
of
it
a
in the end.
Yeah, but Kimi
Yeah, when
Antonelli got
the
it
car
fast,
sucks.
baby. Kimi Antonelli got it fast. He got it at 18 years old. I think that Toto has eyes for Kimi and Kimi's ceiling, and he's overlooking George Russell.
Whatever.
All right. Guenther disagrees. Next prompt.
Lando will never be world champion.
Boo. Boo. That's a difficult one. Break. He can be world champion. Obviously, he needs to be in the right place with the car, but not never. If you ask me, will he be world champion this year? I stay full gas, but never. I wouldn't say that. He will learn,
Okay.
I'm going full gas. I've seen enough. He had an opportunity last year. He said, "I've learned my lesson. I know what I need to do this year. I've done some soul searching. I've looked within myself. I know what I need to do." He did all this talk about how things are going to be different, and it's second verse, same as the first. We're seeing mess-ups in qualifying, botch starts, self-immolations in the press. It's the same shit, different day. I am unconvinced. I am going full gas.
I am pumping the brakes on this, dude. And it took me 1 second to say that, unlike Guenther, where it took him about 5 minutes to make a decision on whether Lando. That silence spoke volumes, Guenther. I think that Lando Norris still has a very, very good shot to win this year. And I think even if Oscar Piastri wins this year, that Lando can bounce back next year if the McLaren is there in this next set of regs. Who knows what it'll bring? Lando's got the skill. He's got the talent. And he's still young. This is going to be a long Formula One career. He can figure it out. There's plenty of time to win WDCs when you have as much talent as Lando Norris, even if it's not in 2025. Next.
You just sound like his manager.
Red Bull will finish fourth at best in the Constructors this year.
Again, why always need to be the first one here? Wait a moment. It's like fourth at best. At best. Full gas. Yes. They struggle too much. Yeah. It will be a battle with Ferrari between for third, but I think Ferrari will be in a better position in the end because they struggle. It's too much up and down with Red Bull, and there is no really, what is coming at the end. No light at the end of the tunnel, in my opinion, in the moment. So yes, full gas.
I'm going full brake. Full brake. Full break. You say no light at the end of the tunnel. I say Yuki fucking Tsunoda. He's just coming to terms with this car. They got upgrades coming. The Flexi Wing is coming down. Max has put the fear of God into Red Bull management. They are working round the clock to get this car ready for Max. And they got the best second driver they've had this side of Daniel Ricciardo. That team is going to turn it around. Full break. Full break. I'm saying second or third in the Constructor. Second or third.
I am going full gas because I think that at some point Max Verstappen might see the light at the end of this tunnel, and that light says that let me get the fuck out of the Red Bull Racing organization. He's maybe going to take a nosedive this year, and Yuki Tsunoda will be the one putting points on the board for Red Bull. Now I'm talking out of my ass. No, I think that Red Bull, Max Verstappen is pulling out miracles to win these races. I think the car is nowhere near where it needs to be, and with all of the behind the scenes stuff, these bad pit stops, it doesn't feel like the Red Bull of old that's going to maximize every point, even though they have the king, Yuki Tsunoda, in that seat this year, who I still believe will get a podium. I still think that they will finish 4th in the Constructors. Next prompt.
Red Bull will keep Yuki in 2026.
Full gas. I mean, there's nobody else out. Very simple. Not that long.
Well, I want to ask, I mean, before I go, I just want to understand something.
Go first. Then ask.
Right.
I'm going full gas. Even though I don't really understand the relationship, I'm delulu that he will be there for years. Who knows if Max will even be there? He might be the first driver. We have no idea what's going on. We got a talent drain there at the ass. And the only person we could count on right now, the only port in the storm as everything's crashing around, the only port in the storm, the only safe harbor is Yuki Tsunoda. I think he's going to stay there. I don't understand why, though, because Honda's left. Seems like they were just keeping around for the Honda connection, but now he seems to actually be good. Like, what is that relationship, Guenther? Can you explain that to me?
I think it's a relationship. They need each other in the moment, because you say, where is Yuki Tsunoda going? I don't think he's going to Aston Martin. But what is Red Bull doing? Who you want to, especially with as you said, maybe Max going in 27. Who you want to have in that team. I think Yuki Tsunoda is doing a good job. Obviously, he needs to make points now, but he was very good. He knows Red Bull. They know him. So I don't think there's Red Bull has got a lot of choice. And also, if they say we bring the juniors driver on, I mean, they tried with Liam Lawson. That didn't work, huh? So Isaac Hadjar, I mean, he could go up there, but then I don't know who is replacing him at Racing Bulls. I don't think there is anybody in the pipeline ready for F1 in the Red Bull program. So
Lindblad?
You think he's ready already?
Well, he seems to be fast-tracked, so they might just give him the Kimi treatment. I don't know.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee that it works.
Right.
At some stage you need to make decisions not by risk, but by what is working. And Yuki Tsunoda is working, in my opinion.
I am going break on this, not because Yuki Tsunoda doesn't deserve it, but because I don't know what it's going to take for Red Bull to finally learn its fucking lesson. Because did they learn their lesson with Gasly? No. Did they learn their lesson with Albon? No. Did they learn their lesson with Checo? No. Did they learn their lesson with Liam Lawson? No. I mean, what will it take for these guys to learn? I think they'll get excited of a shiny thing. If honestly, if Hadjar keeps having good results and outperforms Liam Lawson, what's to say that they're not going to throw him into the seat? I think that Yuki deserves to be there, but they might have more allegiances to Hadjar, and if he has a good year, I don't, am I a fool to think that Red Bull all of a sudden thinks
Colapinto might have a great fill-in? They did the same thing with Nick DeVries. They just love just jumping at things.
I just wouldn't put it past Red Bull to not keep him on, because I don't think that they're going to take Yuki Tsunoda's positive performance as necessarily a sign that they need to do anything different. He feels like a Band-Aid on the problem that they're ready to rip off, but I do think he deserves to be in the seat, to clarify. Next prompt.
Ferrari will not win a feature race this year.
Break. They will win one. I'm pretty convinced. A little bit like last, down in the beginning, and then I think they will win one. But they won already a sprint race. Yeah, it's a feature race. Yeah, so I think they will win one.
You think they just won?
It will be more than 5.
Do you think that is there one? Do you think that this car, is there a race in your mind when you think of the one? Is it Monza?
No, I don't know how the car is on low drag level. I mean, we just find out when they race in Spa, So no, I just have the feeling they will win a race, It's like, because, they are not there, but they're there and about, and it just needs like they had a very good weekend at the sprint race in China, with Lewis. Everything went right and they won it, because everything is so close together. So if you're there and about, in the end, there is still 20 races to go, they will win one.
Matt?
I'm going full brake. Full brake. The car is inconsistent. The strategy is inconsistent. They're doing all kinds of setup changes. There's too many moving targets. There's, Saturn, all three, we need some kind of crazy planetary alignment for the track to agree with them, for the setup to be right, for the strategy to be right. There's too many things that need to go right, too many variables. Break.
I am going break as well. I think that with Oscar Piastri and the form that he's shown, how unflappable he is, and even on a day where he's not there, that Lando's there, with George Russell driving like he is in a contract year, and then always the option of Max Verstappen pulling off a miracle, I think between those four guys, it's going to be very difficult with Ferrari and the car that they currently have to be able to pull off a victory this year. I think Ferrari goes winless in the feature races of 2025. They might win another sprint, but that's child's play. We're talking about the real races here. Okay. That does it for Gas or Break. I think, Guenther, let's go on to our other favorite segment, Rockstar and Wanker for Bahrain. Guenther, who was your rockstar for the Bahrain GP?
Piastri, Oscar Piastri. Absolutely no doubt. I mean, he did everything perfect. That is what you want. Everything perfect, Just like...
Who won driver of the day?
I think Lewis won driver of the day.
Yeah, but driver of the day, we need to find out who is voting there. Who won it one time by vote? How in the
Kimi
hell did he win?
Antonelli won. I mean, driver of the day is stupid. I don't give a fuck about driver of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Matt, you could be the driver of the day. Yeah, you could be driver of the day.
Pointless thing.
I guess I'm the only person in this country that still cares about democracy. All right.
It's not democracy. You can vote as many times as you want, I feel like. Something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And now that they've gotten rid of the fastest lap, I feel like it's just like people are paying more attention to driver of the day because the fastest lap point is gone. It's just like one less thing to talk about. It's a bullshit popularity contest, and the fans move it like they will. Guenther, okay, who is your wanker for Bahrain?
I would say the FIA. With all the mess they made. I mean, you know how deep that thing is in with me with the track limits. Because that is the biggest bullshit ever, and they keep on getting it wrong. And Aston Martin keeps on telling them how to do it. A team can do it, but the FIA cannot do it. And they push somebody out because it happened to me before that you were pushed out after the quali session. And that pisses you off because it isn't right. It is not excusable anymore because it happened too many times that they messed that one up. That they find out from a team that they did something wrong. And then also at the end of the race, Carlos Sainz, you get a grid penalty on the next race. All right. I mean, whoever came up with that thing is like, how about checking if a team is not smart enough to, before they retire the car, to get him in the pit lane to serve the penalty? Because, I mean, that F1 teams are pretty smart people normally, They are not like, just let's get him in, don't think about it, who cares, we get the grid penalty, Like, but before you write that one down and hit the send button, on the thing, so at some stage, some of these guys need to learn a little bit of a standard. In the end, it's called Formula One.
You think he'll be reelected?
I mean, I wouldn't blame the president for this. He doesn't take these decisions. It's the people. Obviously, you say who is employing the people. I don't think maybe it shouldn't be the president which employs them. If he does, to answer the question, I don't know if he's being elected or not. I have no idea. Obviously, the vice president resigning, that's not a good sign. But I mean, that doesn't give you a lot of confidence. So if the vice president resigns, So yeah, I don't know.
Now, Guenther, there was all this stuff with George Russell's steering wheel turning off as well, the DRS zones being broken for some of these guys, that it wasn't automated. There was also with the timing sheets for the broadcast, that was all messed up. one about the broadcast. That timing sheet, is that based off of the FIA's timing sheet, or does Sky Sports or F1 TV or whoever it is have their own timing sheet for that? Do you know?
It's either FIA or FOM. It's nothing to do with Sky. They just get the feed. But the sensors are FIA. You know, the sensors passing the lines. Yeah, that's FIA. But and normally you've got a backup sensor as well. And it took them too long to fix it because you can do it, override it as well. Because I confused the shit out of me when you saw Russell up and down. And after we realized, it's like,
yes.
Is he there? Is he not there? Is he there? And they didn't show him on TV, So, again, I even forgot that one because, for me, the track limits is the biggest one, How can you?
Yeah, especially when there's such consequences for the actual order. I mean, the fact that Nico Hülkenberg got into Q2 and Alex Albon got knocked out and didn't have a chance to challenge in Q2, it's ridiculous that he gets awarded the thing after the race. I mean, it's crazy. This is the pinnacle of motorsport. There's billions of dollars, and you can't do this in real time. It's crazy.
Why don't they just put the fucking sensors where the cars go off the track?
I think a sensor that it happens as sensors break, but there's normally a backup, and I don't know why that one didn't work, But maybe it was the same guy which was running the traffic light for Red Bull, which in charge of that software, yeah.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is like in tennis, they can tell when they have like a fucking computer that knows when the ball is not on the off the line. Why can't they just install that on the turns where they go wide, and it's just automatic? It's just immediate. What's the stopping them?
I'm pretty sure there is technology that can do it, and we don't need to use the tennis one, I think. I think it needs to be a little bit more sophisticated than tennis, but it is there. Why they don't do it, you need to ask the FIA, not me. I mean, I don't have the answer. I don't get it as well. I'm with you.
It seems to be money and resources.
Normally
it always comes down to money and resources.
Yeah, and resources, lack of resources, money again, or lack of spending money, So...
Yeah.
Well, if they just keep fining people for dumb things, they should have plenty of money. Anyway.
That maybe was the plan with the swearing, to get enough money to put a track limit system in place,
Yeah, they can take these 17,000 euros that they fined Carlos Sainz for taking a shit and being 5 seconds late to the thing, and they can put it towards that, maybe.
Yeah.
Call me crazy. Okay, Guenther, we need a little bit of story time. We saw you waving the flag at the Formula E race, and you had a little bit of a mishap there. Can you tell us what's going on with your flag waving technique, Guenther?
I tried to invent a new flag waving technique, and it didn't work out. That's a lot of bullshit, what I just said. But anyway, I don't know what happened. I got trained before. A guy called Dina showed me, and he said, watch out, the flag, the real one, is a lot heavier. Waving a flag cannot be this difficult. It actually wasn't as easy as I thought it is, And I think I wiggled my way out of it, It got rolled up, and then I unrolled it, but, it wasn't the prettiest one, but it was, it was what it was. I mean, But if I would have waved the perfect flag, nobody would talk about it. Now a lot of people know about it, Think about that. I could say it was a strategy to get attention,
There we go.
There we go.
We all know that you're an attention whore, Guenther.
That's what we attention seeker. Yeah.
That's what the entire those were what all the Haas years were. They were just
exactly. Seeking attention.
Yeah. You weren't trying. You weren't trying to work your way up the grid. You just wanted the attention. Okay.
Yeah.
Guenther, we got a new shoe sponsor here from Pelote Shoes. I was wondering if you could give the people out there, our Vankah Nation, some style tips, because I think that it's spring has sprung. People wanting to look fresh. How does Guenther Steiner style Guenther Steiner?
Very simple: a shirt, a button-down shirt, a pair of jeans, and a pair of Pilote. A pair of Pilote shoes. So nothing else. Very simple. A shirt, wearing a hoodie at the moment, but I'm at home, and normally I dress like Matt, but obviously today he decided to have a button-down shirt,
That's right.
So, a pair of jeans,
Good. I think people would be curious as to what color your pants are.
Red today.
bright Santa red.
Yeah, bright Santa red. My pajamas. I just came in this morning from Miami. So
Yes.
yeah.
Well, the great thing about the Pelote shoes is that they are designed for driving your car. They're designed with
Fast
toe shifting, all-day comfort, and automotive-inspired style. A shoe for every fan. From the shift-driving shoe to the Icona lifestyle sneaker, they've got something for a die-hard racer and the casual enthusiasts alike. So go to pelote.com/discount/Vankah A25 and use code Vankah A25, all one word, at checkout for an extra 15% off your order. Okay, Vankahs. Let's talk about Saudi. Saudi is coming up. Another tight track, kind of similar to Japan in certain ways. What do you think is going to happen? Yeah. Very fast corners. What do you think is going to happen in Saudi Arabia, Guenther?
McLaren will win.
Which McLaren?
Which one?
Oscar Piastri.
Ooh.
Okay, here's my question, though. I feel like in terms of their specialties, seems like the high-speed corners maybe is a little bit more Lando's ball game, whereas the medium to low-speed corners actually favors Oscar. Bahrain felt like it was a track that was built for an Oscar Piastri. Do you not think that that this track might suit Lando more?
No, I think Oscar is on a run here, on a roll.
Hot streak.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's Oscar, Lando. Who will be third? I think Charles will be third.
Okay.
What's the degradation like in Saudi?
I don't really know this year, because degradation this year is completely different than what it was before. I mean, if you saw, there is no degradation. So making a prediction now is very difficult, because the teams cannot figure it out in the moment, because the tires, they deck a lot less than they did before this year. I mean, you saw again in Bahrain, the soft tire, people which put it on at the end with more than 20 laps to go didn't suffer anything, It was very stable. So, So I'm hesitant to make a prediction there, what will happen.
Guenther, why do they ever resurface a track? It's like, oh, they resurfaced it. That means it's going to suck now.
Not always. Australia, I think they did. Australia, it was very grippy. Was Australia or China? I don't remember one of the two. China. You're right, China. Yeah, China. They resurfaced just to make it flat again to start off with, You need to put maintenance in, otherwise, and also it gets too rough sometimes. But normally they resurface just maintenance, maintenance work to flatten it out, to make it smooth.
I don't know. I always get skeptical when they resurface it.
Yeah. You want big potholes in it, really.
Yes,
That's
yes.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
want old tracks that rip up tires.
Exactly.
What was so great about Bahrain?
Wear planks out.
Right. Wear planks out. What was so great about Bahrain at the end of that race was that, everyone was on different tires after the safety car. I mean, it's softs, mediums, hards. You so rarely even see teams using softs in a race. It was great.
But that's what I meant before. In the moment, predicting what the tire does is very difficult, because, as I said, the teams don't really know. Sometimes it's almost a gamble, It's like, let's try it because, but that's good for us.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Guenther, we are going to go, but before we go, we got one fan question that we have to ask you. This is from Steph Mimi Smith. Guenther, what Hogwarts house are you a part of?
What's Hogwarts?
From Harry Potter.
I didn't watch it. I didn't read it and didn't watch it.
You didn't show Greta Harry Potter? You never read Harry Potter?
Maybe she watched it without me, Oh, wait, that's easy to be, I didn't watch it.
All right, Matt, what do we think, Guenther? What house is Guenther a part of? Huffle?
I think he's Ravenclaw, maybe.
I'm going Hufflepuff. Matt's
You going Hufflepuff?
Ravenclaw. I'm going Hufflepuff, baby. Guenther's a silly guy. As serious as he is, the real Guenther we know. He dances in his front yard with his daughter. He's
All right.
he's
Hufflepuff.
playful. All right,
He's
in the
Hufflepuff.
chat, What do you think Guenther's house is? Also, what class would Guenther teach at Hogwarts?
The dark arts, obviously.
That's right.
The dark arts.
Defense against the dark arts. You had to do that in Formula One for years, Guenther. Defense against the dark arts.
Yeah. I have to do that a lot, you know.
That or,
We'll
or
add it
that
to-
or the class
we're
that
gonna add
Hagrid
it to the
taught.
list,
Well, the class
movie
that
of
Hagrid taught with all the fucking monsters. He would have taught that fucking class.
Guenther, we got to add that to the movie list for you to watch. The list is getting longer and longer by day. Okay, Vankahs.
All 9 movies. Thank you, Guenther.
We will see you in a week from now for the Saudi Arabia GP this Wednesday. Subscribe if you haven't. Until next time.
Goodbye, wankers.
Goodbye, Vankas.
Peace out, Vankahs.
I'm a boss. I'm a red flag heavy hitter.